Hi year ones, it's Mrs. Sweeney again doing the maths with you, continuing our chapter on positions. So if you've got your resources, your learning partner and your journal, why don't we just say begin? Okay. Our learning objective today is to be able to name positions in a queue with reference to a specific starting point. Okay, I'm going to say that again, and what I mean by that is when you say a queue, it's just basically a line. And in a line, you're going to look at a particular thing or a person, and you should be able to say, oh, that person or that thing is third in the line. Okay, but you have to look at where the line starts. So we'll explore that a bit more in our learning today. But before we do, for our warm-up, you will need 10 objects. Now, I don't mind what they are, but they all need to be different. So it could be 10 different toys, 10 different types of spoons, or 10 different objects. It could be a book, a ribbon, a piece of paper, a hairbrush, a teddy. It could be all sorts of 10 different things. Okay? And when you've got those, come back and we will carry on. Now, once you've got your things, you are going to put them in a line and tell your learning partner the position of each object in your line. Okay? Now, just to help you, I have got a few objects here. Now, I haven't got 10. I've got half of 10. I've got 5. Okay? So I was going to say that the star is second in my line because my starting point is here. Okay? So I'm going to put there start. Okay? So that's my start over there. Now, if I were to start my line on this side, would my star still be the second? No, so let's count. First, second, third, fourth. So my star would be the fourth in the line. So you really need to check where your starting point is. So if my start was here, the heart is the first and the star is the second object in my line. Now, if I were to extend that knowledge a bit more, what I'd like you to do is look at the toys in your objects in your line. And the first thing you're going to do is talk about what is second, what's first, what's fifth, or what's 10th. That's the first part of your warm-up. The second part of your warm-up would be to use the words before, after, or between. Okay, so for example, I'm looking at my line, my object, and I know that my starting point is here. I'm going to say my rectangle, or this shape here is called a rectangle, is in between my oval and my arch. Okay, or I could say my arch is after my star. Or I could say my arch is before the rectangle. So there's 3 different words that I'd like you to use, and if you can, write these words down on a piece of paper so you can move them around. Okay, you should have your ordinal numbers from yesterday all written down or printed off for you. So use those to help as well. So once you've done your warm-up, pause the video now, get on with your warm-up, and once you've done your warm-up, we will move on. Okay? Excellent. Here we have our in focus task. Okay, so we've got a bunch of lovely children here waiting to collect some tickets. Okay, so these people are waiting in a queue. Now, before we even move on, can you describe to your partner where a mirror is? So that means you've got to pause the video. You've got to find where a mirror is. You need to sound talk it. It's there. If your learning partner is with you, next to you right now, ask them to show you where that person is. I'm going to give you a little clue. She's right here. Okay, so describe to your partner where Amira is. So you're using the same word. You're using the ordinal numbers. So you might want to count up where she is in the line, or you might want to even say she's in between somebody, or she's before or after somebody. It is up to you. Now think about her actual position and her surroundings. Okay, so this is what I meant in the first slide where we talked about the starting point. Where do you think is the starting point of this queue, of this line? And then describe to your learning partner what ordinal position she has got in this line. Okay, once you've done that, we can move on. Excellent, year ones. Now that you're back, I just wanted to say that a person, a really close friend of mine, was suggesting to me that I have that you always know the position of a person when you see the front of the line. But I'm looking here, and my last question for you before you pause the video was, how do you know which is the front of the line? Is it here? How do you know that Holly is the first person and Ruby is the last? Why can't Ruby be the first person and Holly the last? I can see some of you are itching to tell me. Absolutely spot on. You know that it's the start of the line because the ticket office or the ticket booth is right here and everybody's queuing behind the ticket booth to collect their tickets. So that shows me that that is the front or the start of my line. Superstars, well done. If you have got that right, you need to give yourselves a big pat on the shoulder. Now, how do we know what position Amira is in? So we've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So Amira is in the sixth position in her queue. Okay. Now, in order to understand your learning a bit more, we are going to do some journaling, and before we do the journaling, we are just going to check a few things. So here we've got our first all the way to the 10th position, telling you which person is where in the line. I have got sentences here to tell me that Hannah is after Ravi. Remember, we also used languages with words like before, after, and in between. Okay, so I've got Hannah is after Ravi. Now, if I remember correctly, this is Hannah and this is Ravi. If you're not sure, I've put it up there just for reference. So there's Hannah and she's definitely after Ravi. Sam is before Elliot. Now, there's Sam over there and he is definitely before Elliot. And Lulu is between Amira and Sam. So there is Amira over there. Oh, sorry, Amira's over there. And Lulu is over here. She's the 7th person and she's definitely in between Amira and Sam. Now, in your journals, you are going to write 3 statements about the position of Amira of Emma in the queue. Okay, you should have your sheets. You can, I would love it if you could include the language after, before, and in between or between. I'm just going to show you the sheet that I have made for you. So here is the sheet that I have made for you just to help you secure your journaling. So I would like you to write 3 statements, but I have actually done the first bit for you. Okay. Now, if you want to write completely different sentences, you might want to choose a different person. You might want to choose Sam or Lulu. It is entirely up to you if you want to extend your knowledge and challenge yourself. But I have got Emma is before, so you've got to check your cue. Emma is before who? I don't know. Emma is after who? And Emma is in between who? Okay, who is she in between? So this person here is Emma. And then after that, you've got a little bit of an extra challenge as well. So you've got to check Ravi is something Hannah, Amira is something Hannah and Lulu, Ruby is something Elliot. Okay, when you have done that, your journaling is complete. Now, once we've done our journaling, we often come back and sit on the carpet together in school to do our guided practice. This often resembles our learning that we will be doing independently in our workbooks. So let's have a go at doing some questions here that might replicate the ones that are in our workbook. So we've got, there are 5 children in the queue, okay? What is the position of each child in the queue? And they've already done one for us. Now this time the ticket booth is over here. So what is the position for Emma? It's asking you to write it in words. So I've got first, and I'm also going to write it in numerals, followed by my first suffix, the st suffix. Apologies, that is my dog whining, and he shouldn't be. He knows he's meant to be quiet. Okay, and you're going to do the same. So if Emma's the first, Ravi's the second, that's right. Hannah is the third. So I'm going to pop her in the box where she needs to be. And I'm going to also write it in numerals under it. Okay, remember you always use your last 2 letters. Lulu would be the 4th. And I'm going to write it in digit form as well. Remember, you use your last 2 letters of the word, and then Sam is the 5th. Now, if you're not sure how to write them in words, remember you had them written down on the very first day, yesterday's session, in your books and light them, or you cut them up and put them around the house, or I have uploaded the words up for you in today's assignment. So you've got 5 with the okay. Question follows on to say something is first in the queue, or someone is first in the queue, and now that you've done this bit, you will be able to see that Emma is first in the queue. So you're going to write Emma's name down, and you're going to put her right there because that is who it is. Lulu is something in the queue, so let's check Lulu's name is there. Lulu is 4th. I'm going to write there 4th. Okay, you can write the word, but remember maths is all about quickness and trying to make sure our work is short, sharp and sweet. So I'm going to write it in digit form as here. Ravi is something in the queue, and we already know that Ravi is 2nd. I'm going to write 2nd there. And this replicates your maths worksheet question as well. Somebody is after Lulu. So who is after Lulu? That's right, Sam is after Lulu. I hope my dog is not annoying you. Shh, be quiet. And then it says Hannah is between somebody and somebody. So Hannah is between Lulu and Ravi. So I'm going to write that down. Lulu and we've got Ravi. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And then you finally have one last question. Somebody is last in the queue, and we know that it is Sam. Okay, so once you've done your guided practice with me, you can move on to your worksheet for today, which is literally like our guided practice that we did. Okay, so you've got your first sheet that looks like this, and your second sheet that looks like this, where you're you're writing the missing words. Okay, so you check, you're matching these people in the queue. So it says I am 2nd in the queue, so where would Emma be? I don't know, you tell me where she would be. Okay, once you have done that, you are done for today. I hope you enjoyed your maths. I will see you back again shortly for our session tomorrow. Bye for now, year ones.